Tell us why we're doing Death Note, bitch.
Okay, well,
Ask this whore.
he obviously like paid money for them to be there.
That is Light on TikTok and also in fanfiction near 8. They need to show this in English class.
If you ask me.
Who's the protag? Episode 19?
This was added, requested by Alexander.
My man. Bitch, where are my Matsuda baddies? Let me hear you scream. The Matsu mommies. Matsu mommies. Oh my God. Okay.
They're out there. I follow some on Twitter.
Let's discuss. Guess who is the only person who gets a fucking episode named after him? Bitch. Okay, so Matsuda is officially assigned as Misa's manager to as like a cover up. He is feeling insecure as fuck. Yes. They made my man feel so bad.
Talk about the greatest hits compilation in the beginning. That's one of the funniest previously on.
Oh my God, I know.
Just every single like insult ever.
Oh, also I said everyone's hating on my man. Meanwhile, they hired him.
They did. Dumb on them. Well, they're kind of low on men.
I guess, but he made it into the academy, so
I don't know how.
Yeah, so he's at this movie set. Misa is Misaing whatever. And
Misaing. She sure is. She's like, I know it's acting, but I can't betray Light like that.
I have a boyfriend, which is so sad because Light, bitch.
You deserve better, Misa. Justice for Misa.
Justice for Misa for real, and Matsuda. Okay, so Matsuda is feeling the weight of being dead weight, and he's like, honestly, I'm near the Yotsuba group. Let me go check it out. Gets into the building, is doing the classic Scooby-Doo ass ear to the door.
He really is.
To which, where the Yotsuba group, there's like 7 of them at this point because they killed one of them.
Yeah.
And so they sit in this room and go over who they should kill next, whatever, like every week or every night or something. Matsuda's listening in, gets the info. He's like, oh, kill. He's like, oh my God, these people really are the bad guys.
Yeah.
They open the door. His goofy ass falls on the ground. My man takes risks, okay, that pay off. Also, this is also where we see Matsuda's shadow is yellow, meaning he's a pure beam of light.
I'm pretty sure that's the only time.
I think so too.
I have a couple notes that are not Matsuda related.
What's new?
So I'll go first.
What else to expect, bitch?
I said, like, contemplating if he would do what Kira does is really interesting, because here is like, at this point, obviously, Light doesn't have any memories, and he's like, would I do what Kira does? Like, I do agree with some of his points, but would I go that far? Right. And then he is like, you know, but he's like, I would never kill anyone, like whatever. And so this is where the debate of like, is Kira really Light? Like, which one's the real Light comes into effect? Because I don't know. So
it's so fascinating.
It is fascinating. Because
you can tell that he is kind of realizing, he's like, but if I were to be a murderer, this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, ugh.
L offering his cake to Light.
You are wild. They are in this episode for maybe 3 minutes. And
those were some of the best minutes. Okay, this is actually one of my favorite lines of the whole show. Can you guess?
Is it about what?
It's L says it.
L says it?
Yeah.
Is it when they yell at him all at once?
No.
Oh, what is it?
I'll give you the strawberry if you keep it a secret, okay?
Oh my God. I don't even notice this.
Mogi takes it and put it in his pocket.
That is really cute. I think I did record that. I love how he puts it in his pocket. I think that is adorable. He puts it in his pocket
for later.
They humor Light so much. I mean, L.
Oh, they do.
Okay. Back to Matsuda, because this episode. Yeah. Can I just say, this man is taking risks. He's thinking quick on his feet. Mm-hmm. He moved the case along, like, in a huge ass way. And he also gets Misa one of the best brand deals in the company.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck with me, okay? Because he falls through the door. He's like,
and during this whole thing, L is discussing how to break into the Yotsuba group
and why you should not work on your own and stir things out.
Yeah. Like, he's like, yeah. So, and he has like the thief, and then the other guy, the artist, the con artist,
the blonde bitch.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, this is our plan, like whatever. And then obviously while they're discussing that, unbeknownst to them, Matsuda is doing all of that, and then when L finds out, he's like, you know what, forget everything
he says Matsuda, you idiot. That is like a key part of this show, I promise you.
Yeah, it really is. And then L calls him, and the voice that he puts on is so funny. He's
Hey,
like,
man.
Hey, man, what's up going?
Yeah, man. I love the dub.
Me too.
It's so good.
So good. Yeah. So yeah, Matsuda really did do that.
Matsuda did that shit because he's like, okay, I wanted you to represent Misa, whatever. Misa is like lit. They throw a little party for him. And he also gets himself like out of the way.
Yeah.
Because he fakes his death.
Yeah.
Excellent. My man.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I first saw this episode, I was skipping around.
I replayed it.
I was skipping around, so like I didn't have the context of. I guess I skipped the scene where Matsuda was talking to L in the bathroom about how they're gonna come up with a plan to get him out. In order to live, you have to die. And so I just skipped to the part where Matsuda is like hanging off the edge of the building.
You see how this bitch watches shows? Do you see the disrespect?
And I was so shook. I was like, oh my God, is he really gonna die? Oh my God, Matsuda, you idiot.
Skipping around, not reading the rules.
And I live life on the edge. Listen, I'm Aquarius. And then the little mattress trick was good.
Yeah, and he really could have died if he really fell off wrong.
Yeah.
I also just said I don't think it's possible to make good detective shows anymore because of the phone scene.
Yeah.
You can't do shit with iPhones, bro. Mm-hmm. The early 2000s and 90s where phones existed but they weren't intelligent enough.
Yeah.
That was when you have to make detective movies.
Yeah.
Because they were like, they didn't say put it on speaker, which you can. They said, and move it away from your ear so we can hear. I was like,
yeah.
And I also need that heart top that all the baddies were wearing.
Oh my God, yeah, they were cute in different colors.
Yeah. Episode 20.
Episode 20.
Makeshift.
Low quality Ellen Light.
It's busted, bro. Like they were tired.
Okay, so at this, I don't remember the context of this, but
I got you. Discussing Yatsuba group splitting up because Lel's like, we don't need y'all anymore, and Misa is in on the plans.
Okay, I said roles are reversed. Elle is willing to let innocent people die to prove a point, and Light refuses to let that happen because it's immoral. They're the same.
Yeah,
They're like, the same.
It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so I said this also confuses me about whether Kira was born from the Death Note itself or if that persona was Light the entire time, because like Light is really being like, no, we can't let innocent people die.
Mother Teresa.
I understand the context now. I remembered. They're listening on the meetings and they're like, the Jotsuba group is planning to kill like these specific people. Mm-hmm. And so they're recording this, and the Light's dad and Matsuda and Aisawa and like whatever are like, this should be enough. Like we could like get them in jail now. And Ella's like, no, these are just names. Like we won't know until they die. So we have to wait until they die. Light has a real problem with that.
And the chief.
They both have a real problem with that because it's like, you're gonna let these innocent people die for the sake of catching Kira, which is, I mean, the entire point, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ella's like, there's like no other way, like whatever. And so Light has some rights, and he comes up with a plan. And it's a good plan.
Light does?
Yeah, Light is like, I'll pretend to be L and call this one of the Jotsuba members, and
because of Matsuda, thank you.
Huh?
Because Matsuda set that up. Thank you.
And he calls him and it's like, this is L talking, and if you don't work with us, we're gonna like make sure you all go to jail. So like work with us, like whatever.
Yeah,
and
one
you'll get
guy.
Pardoned. And so by him doing that, he convinces the rest of the group not to kill people yet and to wait another month for the fake detective to figure out more shit about Elle. So he did that, and Elle's like, that was actually really impressive. Like, you could be me one day.
He said you did what I would have done, but way
and
faster.
He would have. Like when the scene was going on, I was like, this sounds like Elle.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
This is when we get there's no need to yell in unison.
Oh yeah.
They all yell at Elle, and he's like, jeez.
There's no need to yell in unison. Oh, I said, just imagine them solving crimes together. Ugh,
This is hysterical.
I really wanted
because
them to do that.
That's his murder.
Listen, they're the same. They're the same person.
But I don't think. But Elle wouldn't have killed nobody.
Well, he clearly would have.
You're doing a disservice to Elle by comparing him to that monster.
No, I think it's pretty understood that they're like equals in that way.
Are we talking like ingeniousness?
In just like everything.
Do you think if Elle got the death note first, you would have done that?
I don't know. That's what makes it interesting, because what I'm saying is that in this scene, it's kind of proven in a weird way that Elle would do anything to win, to like solve this case, even let innocent people die.
This is also Light says, do I seem like a murderer to you?
Yes.
This shit is when I like look at the invisible cameras while I'm alone in my apartment and I'm like, is anyone seeing this? I'm like, this is crazy.
No, the amount of times I say, but you are Kira during these episodes is crazy. Like, I'm like, but you are.
Imagine writing this. If I was the writer of this, I'd be laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
This specific arc.
Elle tells Light that he could be Elle when he dies.
Will you succeed me? Yeah.
Which is bold. It's a bold move considering Elle still thinks that Light is Kira.
Oh, yeah. He asked on purpose.
And also interesting rewatching, because now we know about Mello and Nier and like the whole thing with Wami's house and whatever. So
that's a good point.
You know, I think he did it on purpose because he knew he was going to die the entire time. And if he said that, he knew that Light would want to become like Elle and take control of like the operations and whatever. And he would know that Elle and Nier would find that suspicious.
And Light literally has another one of his moments. He goes, well, if I were Kira, Light would immediately, or like, he's like, if I were Kira would want to succeed. So if I say yes.
Yeah.
And then he says no.
Yeah, but he does become Elle.
Yeah. This is also.
I love this one.
Oh my god!
Look at his foot; it's so big.
He got a meaty foot. Barefoot Contessa, I'm telling you. This is so then after the whole thing where Aizawa quits, then Elle flips the script and is like, actually, I don't want to work with any of you. And is like, scram, fully knowing that he's connected to Light and that they're gonna have to work together. And so then he like kind of cuts off the police, like meaning the chief, Matsuda, and then Mogi. Yeah, and then he runs upstairs to Misa's place with Light and like fully does what Light wouldn't. And is like, you know what? I think you and Light were meant to be together. And Misa's like, oh my god, you're my day one. I should have known we're friends. And I thought you'd love this when Misa says, I can't imagine a world without Light.
Oh,
and
I
Elle
love this
says,
scene.
yes, that would be dark.
He says, I think the line goes, we have two options. We either lose and get killed or finally catch Kira. Which is it? And then Misa says, catch Kira. I would never dream about living in a world without Light. Yes, that would be dark. It's one of my favorites too.
So smart.
I love them. I would watch a whole show of just Misa, Light, and Elle.
They do the most random magical ring around the rosy. And they do a freeze frame and there's sparkles. Yeah. And Ryuga, Elle is like, fine, yay.
He's like, all of this is for the case. It's for the case.
They want Misa to infiltrate because now she has connections with the Yotsuba group or whatever. Okay. 24?
24.
Revival. Catching Higuchi and Light's memories come back.
Light's memories come
this
back.
Episode.
Yeah. Rewatching this, because now I have a whole new appreciation for Amnesia Light and like this arc, that I'm sad that he got his memories back. At this point, I'm like, I kind of wanted the arc to be longer because it felt longer when I first saw it because I was so frustrated. But now it feels so short because I'm enjoying it. But yeah, no. We finally find out Light's plan, which is fucking crazy.
Genius.
Absolutely.
We have to give it up. We have to give it up to that man. Also, we also find out that Aizawa's gang. He is gang for real. Because he's like one of the only reasons why they caught him. So what happened was The man who was being Kira in the Yatsuba group was this man named Higuchi, ugly as fuck. Matsuda decides to take one for the team.
He really did.
And goes on Sakura TV or somewhere, and they plan to like have it mess up where he's like gonna expose Kira. And journalists are terrible people.
These journalists, yeah,
they were acting like it was fucking New Year's, and they're like, okay, one more hour until he exposes who Kira is. It's like, bitch, if you don't just say it. Higuchi is like, I have to find out this man's name, and I have to kill him, otherwise I'll get exposed. Ends up getting trapped on his way. They like doesn't like fucks up, whatever, makes it ideal. Gets trapped because Aizawa shows up with all the police. This is the first time I liked Aizawa. I didn't like him at all. He kept coming for my man Matsuda, and he was just always mad.
He was always mad.
And I'm like, bitch.
I think I didn't feel a certain type of way about Aizawa until the very end.
He was just always like, this is serious, which like it was.
It was serious. I think it's so interesting how Death Note treats the media, how like it's portrayed.
Yeah,
because
accurate.
It's like the sense, the Jello press or like whatever of like having the sense. What's it called? Fuck the word.
Censorship?
No. It's like making a big deal out of this like criminals and having them like having the crime itself be the spotlight instead of the victims. Like that's obviously like
journalism 101.
Yeah.
I hate journalists. Say what you want.
As a journalist.
I didn't like anyone in my journalism program.
Expose them.
Anyone. I'm like, bring me back to the poetry classes.
Anyway.
Rim. Okay. So this was Light's plan.
Yes.
Because we have Rim, who is Misa's Shinigami. And I did not realize this on first watch, but Misa was the person who, one of the Shinigamis in the up there.
Jealous.
Yes, jealous, fell in love with, and like extended her life and like killed someone in order to save her so that he died. That's how you kill a Shinigami, is get him to fall in love or whatever and have them extend their life. And so Rim is like also in love with Misa. Like Misa is the Shinigami mommy.
Yeah. As she should be.
She got Shinigami's whip.
Listen, she's like so in love with Light, and everyone else is in love with Misa. Like,
pick anyone else.
Please wake up.
Pick anyone else. Like, I'm
Anyone.
begging. Yeah. So knowing this, Light has like obstacles. So Rim will kill Light if Light ends up not protecting Misa or killing her himself.
Yes.
So Light knows this. So he does this another ring around the rosy of the notebooks, which I fucking wrote down because I was so confused. But essentially,
it is confusing on first watch, I will say. You're like, what's the point of this? But then you realize. So Rem's notebook is passed so that now it's Ryuk's notebook.
Yeah.
And then Ryuk's original, like the original Death Note, the one written in English, that was Ryuk's, is now Rem's. Meaning that so Rem and the original Death Note were the ones in Jotsuba. So that's the one where that Light touches and gets all his memories back. That means that Rem is going to be near Light, and Light knew that he was going to be near L. And so that's what he wanted. He wanted Rem to kill L. For that to happen, he needed to have the notebook be Rem's.
It's
confusing
so
as shit.
It's
messy. Okay, they get the notebook. They're in the helicopter. They get the notebook. L touches it, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can see the Shinigami. That's terrifying. Like whatever." And he I think he's thinking it. He's like, Light is Kira. Like he is thinking this, but then he doesn't really do anything about that. I guess he doesn't notice when Light takes the notebook from him, and then the camera pans to Light from L's perspective, and Light is just silently screaming. No, he has like his mouth wide open and nothing's coming out of it.
It's terrifying.
It's like silent.
It's actually terrifying.
Oh, that's so scary. It's so scary. So I got chills. And he's screaming and he has all his memories back, whatever. But the way that he gains ownership back is if he killed the original owner.
So which he has a piece of paper in his watch.
And he like drew blood and wrote it, which he did not have to do. I thought part of the rules was that he had to write it in blood, but no, he just didn't have a pen. He didn't need to do that.
Be a rule?
I don't know.
That would be kind of cool if the piece of paper isn't attached to the notebook. You have to write it in blood.
Yeah, I feel like
cool.
that would make things difficult.
I said I'm sorry, but the ego boost this would give me, like, I couldn't blame Light. If I did that and it was successful, he put so much faith in other people's hands while also being in control of it all.
Ugh, yeah.
Who thinks to have Rem give the book to someone greedy for money? Who thinks of that?
So then the other notebook is like in the forest, buried. And he tells Ryuk, the moment I'm in confinement, doesn't matter the context, where I say, give it up, I renounce the ownership of the Death Note, and all his memories were lost. So that's what happens. We understand the context of that. And so then he predicts somehow that he was gonna get let out of confinement, and then he was like, knowing me and knowing how I am, I'm gonna wanna be part of this Kira investigation.
He was right.
Which means that they're gonna like work together on it, like whatever. And he just like pretty much deduced, planned every part of this. And it's just like so grandiose. I was just like,
I don't think it is, because knowing Light and how fucking boring he is able, like, me impulsive bitch, I don't know what I'm doing like in 2 weeks, whatever. Light is so methodical, that he is able to predict that, and also being able to study human behavior in that way. Oh my god, I'm so impressed.
He also switches ownership between Rem and Ryuk because he knows that he can manipulate Rem and he can't manipulate Ryuk. Like, he has nothing on Ryuk. Ryuk isn't gonna do shit.
Yeah, Ryuk is free.
Yeah.
Rem so
is
much
in love
pressure
with Misa, and so like that's something that he can use. I think Light got real lucky in the helicopter, because if El was really paying attention, that could have gone all to hell. Like, he could have noticed at any point.
How long do you think
he was playing with fire in that helicopter?
How long do you think Light
because it really confuses
screaming?
me how El didn't notice whatever Light was doing over there.
Well, if you think about it, if that was actually 1 second and then Light was looking for 40 seconds, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, you might be looking at the Shinigami. Yeah.
I think he was looking at the Shinigami.
Watari with the Glock, bitch.
Oh, yeah. I wrote that.
Watari. I was like, damn. Misa gets her old notebook back. She goes to get it. So now Misa and Light are back in the game. Except Light, another smart ass thing he did, he made up 2 rules. He had Ryuk write 2
fake
rules. This is what I love about the Death Note, is that there's so many strict rules, but also they're like, have fun.
Go
like,
for it.
do what you want. No consequences. I don't give a fuck. He's like, this is about death and death only. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, he writes that a person who writes in a Death Note has to write again in 13 days consecutively, or they die. And so then that fake rule makes it impossible for both Misa and Light to be Kira, except they are Kira.
Oh, you know what I will give you with this Light and L thing is that I will say, I think what's happening is L, I never realized that with crime and stuff, that it's not about like knowing you're right, it's about proving it.
Yeah,
because I know that L knows that Light is Kira,
he
and
just
because
has to prove it.
The minute that Light switched over, Light says something and L says, that doesn't sound like you.
I also wrote
he
that.
Immediately knew just based off of instinct.
Yeah. Also, he's been spending 24/7 with this man for like months. He knows Light, and so like obviously, I don't think Light took into account. I mean, not that it mattered in the end, but like I don't think Light took into account just how much time they would have spent together.
The death of Light is humanity, bitch.
25. Listen to me.
Woo!
Episode 25 deserves a goddamn Academy Award. This is one of the best anime episodes I've ever seen. It is so gorgeous. It's so well paced. It's just like a standout. as it should be. It starts off with like this really creepy flashbacks of the
kids look
Wami's
like
house.
Titans.
Yeah, they really
look
do.
like Titans.
They really
Mappa
do.
was like Mappa was like, hold on.
With the bells, and then you see little Elle and like holding hands with Watery.
You only see his little haircut.
Yeah, it's so cute.
You hear death bells back to back to back. I can hear the bells. Just hear them chiming.
Oh, and then it cuts to like Watery asking Elle, like grown up, Elle, what's wrong? And then it cuts before he could answer, and it's just like, this whole episode is so slow. Like every single shot is methodical. Like every cut is like extended. Like it's so long. It's probably the slowest moving episode, especially because Death Note moves so fast that as soon as you have like an episode that like even moves at a normal pace, it feels slow. But this is like on purpose slow.
Misa's slow motion singing moment.
This entire episode is so pretty.
I think, okay, when do you think Light knew that he was gonna die? What do you think the moment was? Yeah, sorry.
I think he knew last episode when he asked Light what was wrong.
I think he knew when Light and Misa were hugging because he was watching them alone from the cameras, and that's when he goes to walk to Watery.
Yeah,
I think because maybe he can read lips, maybe not, I don't know, but that was when Light told Misa to go pick up the book. I think that's when he knew.
Yeah,
it's chess. When he saw, he resigned.
Yeah,
he knew.
So Misa singing with no backing instrumental, just her walking around town looking like a gothic Lolita, just like so hyper realistic makeup. Is just so beautiful. And while the people are dying, so pretty.
Just they were just saying goodbye to each other. My bad.
Oh,
she's walking in slow motion. Did you notice? Am I wrong about that? Is that not the outfit that she kills herself in?
Yes, she is. It is.
Bitch,
I didn't notice that either.
Third time watch. It took me.
Yeah.
Third time
and
watch.
And it's the same makeup too.
Same makeup, same weird slow motion walking.
Yeah. That's so, yeah.
Why the fuck was she doing that?
What?
Like walking.
I think it's to like, because while she was walking around town, the people were dying. I think it's to make it, to have her have an alibi. So while all these people are walking, she's clearly not writing anything.
Now this is crazy. When we realized the way that Light gooped and gagged Rem.
Yeah.
Because Light purposely brings up how they would punish Kira, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, probably the death penalty, if not life in prison. And Rem is standing there in the back.
And Rem says, you really are disgusting. And she's right. He really is disgusting.
And she always says, like, Ryuk will be like, oh yeah, Light, whatever. Rem always goes, you truly are disgusting, Light Yagami. She's like, this bitch.
Okay, the sound designer or the sound engineer or whatever for this episode really went off. Like the amount of silence, the atmosphere, the like ambient sounds, like the raining.
Almost noise canceling sounds.
Yeah. Okay. This is the scene. This scene is this scene of all scenes. When Elle is outside in the rain and he's listening to, he's just standing in the rooftop and Light is like, what are you doing here alone? And he's like, and so he goes over there and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, the bells have been unusually loud today. How odd.
And guess what? The episode's called Silence.
Beautiful. No wonder. This episode is filled with silence. Light
says, I don't hear nothing.
He's like, okay.
Light said, what? Okay. And
then, go
ahead.
This moment. He says, tell me, Light, from the moment you were born, has there ever been a point where you've actually told the truth? And then it cuts to Light and it's pure silence. Oh. And that moment was the one where Light knew that Elle knew. I mean, for sure, like positively.
Okay, you say this because I was going to ask you. This is one of the only moments where I could not tell if Light was acting or not. It felt like normal friendship.
You know what? I think that was the point. I think Elle really wanted this moment to be the one where like Light really was truthful for once in his life, for him to take that opportunity to like be vulnerable and like, you know, I don't know, like he was giving him a chance. I think he was giving Light like a second chance to like prove him wrong. And then Light completely lied, especially when he says, I would never lie, especially not when it would hurt other people. Bitch.
It also felt, I don't know if it's just like the juxtaposition of us seeing him without the memories, but for some reason his acting post memory regaining felt so cringe to me.
Oh, absolutely. He's trying to do something that just is not natural. So then it cuts to the beautiful scene.
The longest minute of my fucking life. My God.
The only anime only scene where Elle offers to wash Light's feet after the rain. And listen, this is both gay and a biblical reference. Both of those things.
Right? Will you speak on that? I knew you would have it.
I Googled it to make sure that I knew. Okay, this is a quote from the Bible. Of like, okay, so Jesus washes in his last meal, he washes all of the disciples' feet before he goes and dies. But he especially washes Judas's feet, and Judas is the traitor. And so in that moment, Elle, which is can be confusing to people because Light in the theme song has been like referenced as the Jesus, like he's the one crucified, whatever. But in this moment, he is Judas, he's the traitor, and Elle is Jesus. And so this is a quote from St. John, whatever.
3:16. I swear to God.
It says, let us see also what he does now towards the disciples, or rather what actions he now exhibits towards the traitor, the man whom most of all there was reason to hate, because being a disciple, having shared the table and the salt, having seen the miracles and been deemed worthy of such great things, he acted more grievously than any, not stoning indeed, nor insulting him, but betraying and giving him up. Observe in how friendly sort he receives this man, washing his feet, for even in this way he desired to restrain him from wickedness. Yet it was in his power, had he willed it, to have withered him like the fig tree, to have cut him in two as he rent the rocks, to have cleft him asunder like the veil. But he would not lead him away from his design by compulsion, but by choice. Wherefore he washed his feet, and not even by this was that wretched and miserable man shamed. Does that not absolutely explain that entire scene?
And then to lay it on thicker, they played Judas by Lady Gaga. Judah. That's crazy.
Isn't it? When I read that, I was like, oh my God, this explains everything.
My granny needs to watch the show. My granny read the Bible.
He's literally giving a choice to Light to not betray him because he knows what's going to happen.
What's crazy is it's already too late.
It's already too late.
Because it's in Rem's hands.
Mm-hmm. So even if he wanted to do something about it, he couldn't, I guess. I mean, he could ask Rem not to do that, and they will find another way, but like, you know, whatever. And then what Light does after while he's washing his feet, he notices that Elle's hair has a few droplets fall into his feet. And then he like goes and dries Elle's hair. Mm-hmm. And that action may come across as selfless. But in actuality, I think it was only for his own benefit because he noticed he was getting wet anyway.
It didn't drip on the bleach or anything, wherever they were, the stairs or whatever.
Yeah. It's so good.
This shit was so crazy.
So good. Oh my God. And then he says, it'll be lonely, won't it? And it's so sad. We'll be parting ways soon.
I also feel like, okay, I didn't notice the thing about the dropping on the foot and it being selfish. Mm-hmm. For me, this scene felt like they were saying like, good game.
Yeah.
They were saying GG's.
Yeah.
Like, because I really think that is probably the most
honest,
closest to empathy we're ever going to get.
Yeah. I think also in this moment, Light was probably the most other than Amnesia Light is probably the most honest Light has ever
It
ever
felt
been.
different.
So, the show is so good.
This
guys.
show is a bitch. Shut up.
Oh, it's so good.
The plot is so thick. BBL plot.
Then we see Watery die and reach for L in his final moments, and that was also really sad. And then Rem writes L's name, and he has a heart attack, and he falls in slow motion.
This
and
bitch.
Light catches him, and he dies in Light's arms, and it's so gay. It's also really tragic.
Because Light went
Gay
from
and tragic.
smiling.
The Death Note.
Light went from smiling to catching L in like a split moment, and you know it's for the act. That's the craziest part. Well, for me at least. And the writer who wrote the story.
No, I think you're right. And all I wish is that it would have been so interesting. Just so interesting. If we only had like a fraction of a second of remorse or like honesty or feeling from Light in that moment of like just a moment of realization of like, oh, the game is ending. Or like I'm never like I won, but at what cost? And then switch back to like I've won. Like I just want like a little second, like a little, you know. And I went frame by frame.
I lived.
And I did not find that. So
because I think what Grant, no, yeah, I get that. It's crazy how even that little bit of emotion would probably like someone like that couldn't do it. What he did.
Yeah.
It takes full sociopathy and psychopathy and not a drop of empathy.
Yeah.
I don't even think
it's so sad. And it's so sad, especially because like obviously Elle knew, but the way he just closes his eyes in resignation is just so sad.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Yes.
Wait, I said, okay, the feet, more like admitting defeat. I can't take anything seriously.
Do you want to skip on to the last two episodes?
Yeah, let's skip because we gotta last two. The gag.
Oh, wait. I have to say something. There's one in when the dad dies. There's this one scene where he's like, Light says, I renounce the Death Note so that the dad doesn't, notice that he's Kira. But I'm going to keep it with me, touching, so I don't forget. In the manga, he has a corset on. And I realized that he does not have one in the anime.
Snatched.
Way snatched. Wait, I think I took
a corset. I'm dead. He said I'm up with the trends.
Look.
Stop.
I'll wear a corset or something.
That is so fucking funny.
Oh, that should have been in the anime. Imagine Light with a corset on.
Work. I fully can.
Me too.
And thigh highs.
I fully can't imagine it.
Okay, so we're
introduced to Mello, and you thought Elle was gone, bitch. You thought wrong.
Can we discuss like Mello? Like it's so sad. Mello literally looks at Nier, who looks like Elle gave birth to him, and is like, so which one did he choose?
Mello, come on.
Which one did he choose?
Mello.
You know that I'm known for the bob.
We established that Mello is a barb.
Mello's a full barb. Full barb.
Mello is...
I'm a motherfucking monster.
Listen, Mello is...
Mello is cunt of the week. He is in both personality
and looks. Listen, I love that man. I love Mello and Nier. They're so cute.
So we have like the best, one of the best parts is when Nier calls Elle and Elle is like, I've done it. Or Light is like, I've done, I guess Elle.
Elle, yeah.
And Nier says, hello, Elle number two.
He's like, fuck. Thought I won.
Oh shit. I definitely watched this last night and I had smoked. Do I recommend it? Like recommend watching it? Well, on the second watch. Don't watch it for the first time.
No, don't watch it for the first time.
I might have gone into cardiac arrest because it was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain where we're at?
We are at, so the episode opens with Mello having died, guys. we only talked about Mello for such a short amount of time. He's already dead. He died because that bitch fucking killed him, and she also died. Both of them died. I'm not.
Do you know why he made her strip down naked? Was it to make sure she doesn't have the book? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It didn't matter anyway.
The chills that I got with Light on the phone with Takeda, and Takeda just got stripped down naked and like almost died in a car crash and also killed a man.
Yeah.
And Light was just said, "Can you do it?"
This man has no...
This is when I get mad at the other characters because they are giving this man way too much leeway.
Yeah.
If I saw that and like I have been seeing people dropping like flies and it's so evident that it's someone in the police force and you hear Light say, "Can you do it?"
Come on. I mean, at this point, Aisawa and Moji both suspect
Matsuda,
Light.
come on.
What?
It's like, Matsuda, come on. He literally...
Matsuda agrees with Light. Let's not go there.
He's like 37.
He's like, the people who post online should die. Okay, Matsuda. Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it starts off that way. Nier has basically, they've all figured it out. They've all figured it out by now. And so his plan is they're going to meet in this this empty warehouse. And they're gonna, it's the final showdown, basically.
It's so beautifully written.
It really is.
Because the way that so they both lose people on their side. I mean, well, Light doesn't have anyone really on his side. But
he has Mikami. Is that his name?
Yeah, but do you think Takeda, he was gonna kill her anyways?
Yeah.
But they both lose people on their teams, and it's so crazy. Nier is a baddie, bitch. How Nier calls and says, "Sorry to keep bothering you, but," and Light is like, because Light loves the reaction. Mm-hmm. Every crazy person
Nier
loves the reaction.
is not gonna give him shit.
Nier has his little dolls, and he says, "Just making sure we're still on for the 28th." And he did that to let Light know that things are still going according to plan.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "I don't care if my foster brother died."
Okay. So the things that take place leading up to this episode are so crazy and foul, and the way that he treats women is so sick and twisted. Like this woman, yeah.
So sick and twisted.
People are still vying to be Kira's representative.
Yeah, the way that the media reacts to Takeda dying is just like, well, clearly she wasn't devoted enough.
Wait. This Light had President Bush on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe a plot hole. Who has the president's phone number? And honestly, the worst part though is that really is probably how Bush would have reacted. That's the worst part.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a plot hole.
He didn't even question how this guy had his number. He just says, "Is this a joke?" And Elle is like, "No, it's not." He was like, "Well, gosh, okay." God,
That's not really got into the American politics.
And so we go to the warehouse. The classic anime footsteps are loud as fuck. Mm-hmm. Elle or Nier specifically was like, all our teams should come together.
Yeah.
Like Nier was like, we're either all dying or we're not.
Yeah. His guardians, his babysitters are there.
Literally, Light.
It's really cute how they treat Nier. It's like
when
really
Nier
sweet.
didn't know how to book the flight.
It's really cute. He's like, "I need a guardian."
It's like, well, I've never made a flight before. It's so cute.
He's so small.
And
he
so
needs his little toys too. 36
is the longest episode I've ever felt in my entire life.
Yeah, it really is.
Because they show up to the warehouse.
It's a lead up.
They show up to the warehouse, and then Aizawa confirms, or Mogi confirms, I don't remember who, that Nier is actually in there. Mm-hmm. They walk into the warehouse. There's like 4 on Nier's side. Are there 4 on Light's side?
Maybe.
Is it 4 of them? The number 4.
Ooh.
I'm so sick. I've like noticed in the last, when we were talking about this last week, that 40 seconds to die without a cause.
Yes.
400 seconds to change the name. Mm-hmm. And there's another thing, but I was thinking maybe it's because the cross is 4 points.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that the Holy Trinity, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they get there, and Nier is wearing a mask of Elle. Bitch. What?
The way he plays him, it's so satisfying. It's
the
so,
climax.
Yeah,
literally,
it's so satisfying. I'm just like, fuck yeah, you show him.
I always talk about how anime gives the people what they want. Mm-hmm. That is why I watch anime.
And listen, Death Note took a while to give me what I wanted, but it gave it to me.
It was euphoric.
It was.
So in this episode, it's the countdown. Nier. I don't even know if I can explain it.
It's so complicated. So they knew that Mikami, is that his name?
Mm-hmm. The side hoe
had the death note, and he was acting as Kira because he was chosen specifically by Light. And they've been stalking him and like whatever, and so
Giovanni
has been stalking him, and we know that they did something with the notebook, but we don't really know what they did. We know that he like copied it, but we don't know like the context.
We're out of the dark in terms of Nier's plan.
Yeah. So then it turns out that they switched the notebooks.
Yeah.
But then Light predicted that they were gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
So he unswitched the notebooks.
Yeah.
But then turns out that Nier knew that he was gonna do that. And so it
there's something like this. There's like a meme about this or something. I don't know. Maybe it's that what you say where they just keep shooting each other. Yeah. Yeah.
And so he
replaces the pages.
Yeah, perfectly. And they like copied his handwriting perfectly.
This character that showed up 30 seconds is the one who fully saves the day.
Yeah.
Giovanni. Mm-hmm. And Giovanni did it all in one night.
Good for him.
He said that because just to fuck with Light.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, he copied them exactly, and so then replaced the death note again. And that is the death note that is currently on Mikami's hands. And then Nier was like, Mikami's gonna show up, and he's gonna take in like whatever amount of time, and he's gonna open the door, take a look at all the faces, and then he's gonna write down some names.
Delete.
And then they wait 40 seconds and no one died.
We don't know that yet in 36.
No, you're right.
And I just kept thinking about watching this in the early 2000s and having to wait a week to know if people died or not. Are you kidding?
I would not be able to.
How fast did people buy the next issue, I wonder, and if it's sold out or not?
So then episode 37 starts and no one died.
Oh, can I say something? I fully thought Light I thought he was going to take the 40 seconds and do a whole monologue.
Me too.
Because I did not think that his only thing he wanted to do was like look like you lost Nier right before he died. I thought he wanted to like revel in it. Yeah. I thought that wasn't his character, but alas.
But also, how was he going to explain that?
What?
Okay, let's say his plan did work. And then everyone else died. But Light? How would that look? How would we explain that?
They're all dead. This also made me understand his plan.
But still, like, he's going to be the only one to make it out of that. And, like, explain to people. Like, how would he explain that?
Okay, so I finally understood it because when we were talking about this and I hadn't finished it yet, I didn't realize how much power Kira already had.
Yeah.
He's already in control of the police.
Yeah, because they just gunned down Matt.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Matt.
What was that?
You were great.
And the way that Mello was like, oh, I didn't think he died. Are you stupid? Are you dumb?
That was his bestie.
Dickhead.
Don't make fun. Don't bully him.
Bitch, do not give me the death note, bitch. I don't know what would come over me. I don't know about my moral compass, bruh. Okay. I underestimated how much power Kita had because I remember we were talking and we were like, what the fuck was his plan? Like, because he really, though, and his followers don't know about the notebook. I didn't realize that he had every person that knew about the notebook in one room.
Yeah.
He was there.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
So I guess you're right that at that point they weren't going to question Light, but there's no way that after that moment, everyone would assume Light was Kira anyway. And I guess at that point he would have been like, who cares? They can know I'm Kira.
Well, he would have had to kill his mom and his sister.
Yeah.
He was confident.
But then even, I mean, that's what it is. Like, his arrogance got the best of him. And, like, his God complex got too much. And he just assumed that he was going to win anyway. Like, the fact that he won against L, I think got to him so much that he's like, there's no possibility of me losing.
Oh, yeah, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I kind of get because of like what, like that's crazy. But yeah, no, he took it way too far.
And he lost.
You know what I noticed is that when Light went to Paris to go like seduce Takara, they show like later the next thing that near his building is the Eiffel Tower. And I noticed, I was like, hey, the things that he uses he uses matches to build a bunch of buildings. He uses dice.
Which, by the way, that little building, I thought at first, because it comes in at a close-up, I thought at first it was that, like, the mine city that they're in, that Light and
I thought that too.
Right?
I 100% thought that.
They must have done that on purpose.
I 100% thought that, and it wasn't until he was finished that I was like, oh. Yeah, he uses matches, he uses dice, which I guess kind of...
And the little puppets, you know, they sell those and they're real ugly.
Those puppets were freaky.
Freaky.
He made himself look busted. And then I love, it was really, you know, people talk about the power of friendship. They won with the power of friendship.
They really did. It was cute. I like that.
This is crazy.
This last episode, Light goes off.
It makes life worth living, I'm not gonna lie.
I got chills. Like, this voice actor killed it. Like, absolute killed it. The way that he sounds is absolutely deranged. Like,
there's nothing cringy about it.
You forget that this is an actor acting.
The breath work.
Yeah.
The fucking how he goes from sounding crazy and arrogant to like a child
and
in
like
a puddle of his own blood.
begging.
Like begging. And
absolutely embarrassing himself.
Literally pathetic.
Pathetic.
The
yeah.
definition of pathetic.
Absolutely. As he deserves.
And
Matsuda did it. He got his moment. This is
my man. Bitch, no one else had the nerve to shoot his ass. Someone would have died if he written on that piece of paper.
He shot his hand. As he should have. But I think the point of this show is to show that, like, no matter how much, like, obviously it's power corrupts, absolutely. That's the moral of the show. But also the fact that, like, Light at the end of the day was just human, and as much as he thought himself God and the show referenced him as God, he still died pathetically and like the most human way possible. And I just like, I love that so much, that like the show itself roasted Light for how much they like sucked his dick earlier.
Dick riding. Also for L too, the chief. I don't know how no one like at some point just called L a hater. He just kept being like, no, I think it's Light, and they were like, oh, okay, you know, like at some point. So like if this was in America, I really feel like someone would have been like, honestly, you're being a bitch. Like,
yeah, you're being a hater.
Okay, I will say, yeah, don't watch this high, because when I was like smacked and the fucking rules that they decide to show in this episode, all humans will, without exception, eventually die. And I feel like it was extra long. I feel like they added on another second.
Absolutely, it was. They wanted you to read that.
The only rules in this episode that they show is that humans are going to go to nothingness, and that all humans will eventually die.
And also the fact that it's regardless of like whether that human uses the death note or not, they're all equal in death, is even more of like a slap in the face for Light, who even like, he really thought he was gonna get some sort of special treatment, even if it's like the worst treatment for him using the death note, and it turned out that he was just like any other person that he killed.
Throwback to me in the Haikyuu episode saying, what kind of would create a universe where the only thing guaranteed is death? Because what the fuck?
What were we talking about?
So yeah, Light is running. It's so sad. And the music they're playing, Sophia, whimsical.
Yeah.
It's a small world, like fucking classical music. And also it is so shady that this episode is called The New World.
I know.
They are talking about the new world that Light has always been talking about.
No, it's a new world without Kira.
I know, but it's just the fact that Kira was like, I'm going to make a new world. Yeah. And then the people who created him as a character decided that the new world was the one without him.
Yeah.
Crazy mama.
Upon the entire time. We have to talk about who
go for it.
At the end killed Light.
Oh yeah.
Ryuk did. And he said it in the first time we meet him, I think.
Came full circle.
He said that he was gonna write Light's name in the Death Note.
Ryuk started the show and ended it because guess what? Ryuk is actually a god.
The actual god.
He's actually a god.
Yeah. And I think he says like, you died as you were human. You're not a god. Like, the gods of death are not like you.
And notice how humble Ryuk is, and he's the one that's a god. Mm-hmm. Oh, we gotta watch Mob Psycho. Mm-hmm. Same vibe.
So he dies in the staircase, which some people say that is like between heaven and hell.
Stairway to heaven.
And I saw this panel. I haven't read the manga, this scene in the manga, but I saw a panel where it looks like Light is talking to Ryuk while he's like writing his name down, and he's showing it to him. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe in the manga it's a little different, and like he knows that Ryuk is the one to like write his name.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
it's like begging Ryuk specifically.
That's even more pathetic.
I know. So I guess, and we talked about earlier, but when he's walking towards the staircase that he dies in, he passes his younger self and sort of like saying like, and it's the sunset, sort of saying like, would he have done anything different?
Oh my God. And just like the way that Light, like when Nier specifically said, okay, well, what are you going to try to say to get out of this? And the way that Light first went to, I'm being set up, to then being like, why don't y'all just follow me? The world, there's like no wars anymore, whatever. So like, Matsuda, you idiot! So don't you wanna whatever? Like, you agreed with me? Kill them, whatever. To begging for Misa, to begging for Takada, which just showed he didn't care which one it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then he sees L like behind a bar. He didn't see his face or anything.
Yeah. The last thing he like hallucinates is L, which is iconic, to be honest. And also it's even more embarrassing because it's Nier that stopped him. A child.
Nier didn't hesitate once.
No.
Nier got that job done.
No, yeah.
Oh!
And like he, also the fact that Mello, like I wanted to say this earlier, but like Mello is Light in a lot of ways.
Why?
Because
Light, yeah.
Yeah, Mello is like very emotional and, you know, like is a sort of like means justify the ends kind of guy, including violence. And I feel like that's Light. Or that's who he is inside. And Nier is obviously L. But yeah, I think Light would have preferred if L was the one to defeat him.
You know what I thought was so interesting?
He keeps saying, "You're not L. You're just like an imitation of L."
Does, and I'm like, bro, this is not what you need to be.
I'm like, who mentioned L?
Who's that?
He lives in your head rent free.
And Nene leaks, and she's like, now how'd I get there? I didn't even do nothing. What did we learn?
What did we learn? We learned that power corrupts absolutely.
We learned how to write a fucking suspense show.
Yes, we did.
What was going on in the 2000s that made people write shit like this?
I don't know.
What was going on?
It's absolutely iconic. This show is so good.
Like, I need this
Everyone should watch it.
I just need this to be a staple in American culture. Like, I need to be able to bring this up.
Yes.
And it be like expected.
Yes. Yeah. It should be taught in schools. Like 1,000%. This is a good like basis for do you agree with death row or not?
Bitch, fuck Dostoevsky. Like, fuck all of those whatever.
Let's discuss Death Note and morality.
This would be an excellent thing to go on about in English class.
Yeah. Or philosophy or whatever. Or politics. Do you believe in death row? I don't.
Do you believe in the death penalty?
I don't.
I want to so bad, but I just can't as a black person, you know?
Listen, the justice system is no system is perfect. And therefore, no matter how good intentions you have, people are going to take advantage of that. And that is not something that you want to take advantage of.
Okay, y'all.
It's not doing shit. Okay.
This has been our premiere episode of season 2.
Yes, it has.
You can expect more out of focus camera work, funny jokes, gay slang.
I think next week we're gonna do Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah.
Leave your requests below. We might or might not do them.
Yeah, we have them lined up. We should get to the requests that people requested. Free some random one. I don't think either of us have
Jujutsu
watched.
Kaisen. We're definitely
yeah,
definitely doing Jujutsu Kaisen this.
Yeah, we might try to align that with maybe the movie coming out or something.
The movie already came out.
Oh, then the show.
That's
That's gonna happen on September.
in the fall.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, it's been real, angels. We'll keep it simple and sweet.
This is like the Bleach episode. This is gonna be hell for you,
bitch.
But you know, those are the best ones. Okay, go on.
For the viewer. Stay well dressed, don't be pressed, and stay blessed, angels. We will see you next week.
Bye.